This meeting is being recorded. Starting at 7:04, December 28th, 2022, Norwalk Historical Commission meeting. Call to order. That means Eric and I have to calm down. Did anyone find anything to change in the minutes?
I did not.
Me neither.
No, they look fine. So I make a motion to accept the
Yes.
minutes.
I
Yes,
second.
all in favor? I can't, let me turn off the side screen here.
Lisa just arrived.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Lisa, how do you feel about last month's minutes? She's probably doing 2 meetings again.
Well, she's not on mute.
Yeah, unless she's doing that old 2 meeting trick again. Oh, there she is.
Ooh, you're in a love boat circle.
Did you happen, Lisa, did you happen to read the minutes? And now you're muted. The old mute. I'll just do hand sign language. That means applause. You can unmute yourself unless you don't want to. She's still talking.
All right. I was clicking there and wasn't doing anything because there was
Oh.
a window up here. I don't know. Every time I come on here, it's like a whole different look and feel. But this has a lot more boxes and I had to verify and
Right.
3 different things. Anyway, I not only I read the minutes, but I wasn't here on the last one. But
Oh, well,
I
I guess
did
I could-
watch the video
Right.
of what had transpired. So I don't
Well,
know.
I guess. So if you didn't read the minutes, it doesn't really matter then, does it? Technically. I think we were all in favor, but it's hard for me to tell without having a true Hollywood squares. 1, 2, 3, and Mark was a yes, and so that is unanimous. So I'll move on to number 3, which is public participation. I don't think we have any aside from the group waiting on deck.
There is one person dialed in, I see. So I guess if they wanted to raise their hand, I can bring them over if they'd like to speak.
Yes.
It's *9 to raise your hand on the phone. Didn't see a hand raised.
Okay. Then we'll move on to reports from boards and Norwalk Historical Society with Diane Jelleret.
Hello, happy holidays, everyone. We just wound down our December, starting out with our folklore of Santa Claus, which was virtual. That was very interesting information. And we had our open house holiday party on the 13th of December, and we had a cello group play for the holiday open house. So we're kind of getting back into the swing of things with in-person events. So we are, very happy. And said we're winding down. So my report is going to be very brief, and we're looking forward to going into January 2023.
Cool. And by brief, you mean that's it?
Yep, that's it. I'm not going to put you
Okay.
through any more than that.
All right, thanks, Diane. Lockwood Matthews Mansion, I think we have Doug up for that.
Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Healthy New Year. Put all the holidays in there I can think of. Susie's on vacation, Patsy's away in Washington DC, so I am the lone representative. I'm not sure what was reported last time. Number one, just USA Today during the number 6 out of the top 10 places to visit for the holiday season. That's our 3rd year in a row making top 10. We're doing our normal holiday exhibition, which runs right through the 31st, and we're like Diane's group, we're shut down for the winter. I know it was brought up last time, we're going out to bid again because we didn't have sufficient bidders. The bid will be going out, I think, on the 6th of January and is due back on the 27th is when the bids are due. We're trying to allow them enough extra time this go around. Each one of the previous bidders have been contacted. We've expanded the group a little through word of mouth. If anybody knows any contractors, they have to be Connecticut companies because it's state and federal money. Please email me some contact information. You know, anybody that's a minority company that can either do any of the trades that we have them all, HVAC, plumbing, carpentry, et cetera, please forward that to us. The start date we're anticipating now would be sometime in July. By the time we board it out, contracts awarded, staging. So we're in the midst of making 2 alternate plans for the year. We passed 2 budgets, one based on us being open the entire year and one based on us not being open. So, and that was voted in by the board at our December meeting. I think I've got most of the updates. I can't tell you what attendance has been. And what that's Susie's forte. I don't have any of that information. Are there any questions?
Well, Doug, I just like to say I visited the mansion actually for the first time. I've lived in Norwalk over 10 years now, and I visited it this week, and the holiday tour is exceptional. So just a compliment.
Thank you. No, everybody raves about it, and we're trying to improve on it a little every year. And the volunteers are great there, so they do a fabulous job.
Yeah, my wife and I went with another couple this past Friday. And we also found it very, very good. And our tour guide was very good.
Thank you. I do need to, we are going to start packing up in January non-essential items that are down the basement. This is we've talked about the trim woods that we found in the building. They've actually found all the old cabinets in the original kitchen. We're going to start packing that kind of material up in a storage trailer while we're closed up, and then go through our archives. Patsy's favorite project.
Okay, I'm not going to help.
I had you first on the list to call.
Well, he's just going to the bottom of the list.
There we go. Thank you all for you do, that you
Okay.
guys do.
Thank you, Doug. Well, next up, I don't see David here, so although I did send out those reports, but who's going to read them this week? Building, cemeteries, and financials. So David is still on a well-deserved vacation. So that's number 5 reports. We're just going to skip over that. Next up is, okay. Old business. Number A is AutoCast, the audio tour. Again, that fellow's trying to get his bill paid, and it keeps getting bopped around City Hall. So I don't know if Michelle has found anything out about that. I think Tom might have talked to the woman in what office? I don't remember. Oh, Vanashek. So that's still up in the air, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, you said,
Um,
Dana, you did contact,
I didn't,
Jessica?
did Tom talk to her?
'Cause I-
Tom said that he would look into why we are getting tagged with this and see about directing it to a more appropriate bureau in City Hall.
Right. And, yeah, I think that's just another follow-up with Ms. Vanashek.
Yeah,
So,
he had said something about having it go to like tourism.
yeah, that makes more sense, because,
Because it's a tour.
yep. And,
Great.
okay. Next up, and this would be Tom again, is the demo delay ordinance. So he's the man with the answers for that.
And according to his email, he did not have an answer for that yet.
Okay, yeah,
It's
because,
still in process.
yep, we know about that. The agony of expedition. Anyway, and now we can move on to number 7 is 31 and 35 South Main Street, Sono Hotel expansion with Attorney Suchi. You're on deck.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman and members of the Historical Commission. For the record, my name is Liz Suchi. I'm a partner at Carmody, Torrent, Standack, and Hennessy, and I represent the applicant TR Sono Partners. Present tonight as well is Colin Grothier of Bindfield Architecture. His firm is preparing the architectural plans for the proposed expansion of the Residence Inn, as well as Alan Cosby, who is project manager for the project for the FD Rich Company, the parent company to TR Sono. Just by way of a little bit of background, the existing Residence Inn at 47 South Main Street was approved in 2009 and it was finally constructed in 2019. It has approximately 102 rooms with a parking resource at grade level and then structured parking behind it for the rooms that exist. The proposal is to demolish the structure at 3135 South Main and construct an additional 8-story addition to the existing Residence Inn, with additional 48 rooms, bringing the total to 150 rooms and parking to satisfy the needs of those additional rooms to be created. We've provided to Ms. Andrzejewski, and hopefully she had an opportunity today to share with you an analysis by Michael Devonshire, who is an architectural conservator and historian out of New York City, who visited the site, who evaluated the building and provided his analysis of the structure, what could happen and what the challenges are, and what he deems appropriate for 31 through 35 South Main Street. Frankly, his final commentary is that the structure, while old, doesn't really have significance from an architectural perspective, and the efforts that would need to be undertaken to bring it to current, to bring it back to what the status was in 1927 when it was constructed, would end up having more new features, new materials, and many of the existing materials would likely be lost during that restoration and rehabilitation process. That report was provided. I would suspect you all haven't had an opportunity to look at it, but we thought it appropriate to evaluate the building, have it evaluated by someone with the credentials such as Mr. Devonshire, who's been in the industry as an architectural conservator for more than 40 years. At this point, if you wouldn't mind, and if you could indulge me, I'd like Colin Grothier to just walk you through what the proposal is for 3135 South Main, and we're happy to answer then any questions that you might have. If that's okay with you, we could proceed that way. That would be helpful.
Yes.
Thank you. Colin?
Thanks, Liz. Can everybody hear me?
Mhm.
Yep, wonderful. I'll share my screen in 1 second. So this is the existing, mass of the existing hotel. This is the proposed addition, be similar in height and street massing to the existing one. We're looking at a double height first story, and then 6 stories of guest suites above that. Total is 48 units, 48 new guest rooms to add to the 102 in the existing building. And they would connect via a small bridge in between the two buildings that creates a visual break and some separation between the two structures. It allows passage between the new wing and the existing wing. The new space on the first floor is seen as hotel amenity, so that I guess would be rental space for functions and provide some activity to the street. In plan, the darker color here is the existing hotel and the entrance off of South Main, and then the ramp that heads up to the multi-level parking deck. There's on-grade parking beneath the the proposed structure, and then this is the new interior space. It also houses an egress stair for the upper levels. Going up a little bit, sorry, going up, we've got one more level of parking and the double height first floor space. Access to the stair connects to the existing parking, and you can traverse through the parking area back and forth between the two areas of the hotel, but not likely that people are going to be doing that. We do see the connections happening at the third level, where the new wing and the 8 guest rooms per level is connected to the existing hotel via the existing corridor as best as possible. And then that just stacks up to the top level, which it basically repeats. And then on the roof, we've got mechanical equipment, potential for some solar, and in elevation, we're matching the existing floor to floors of the existing hotel and providing a complementary but slightly different architectural style that is similar in massing and height to some of the other buildings on North Main, like the fire insurance building and the other ones that are closer to the train tracks on the south side, sorry, the east side of the street. And those are really the big moves. So happy to answer any questions.
I'm sorry, you showed the different floors, but it looks like there's more floors than what you were talking about. So there's eight
It's
times how many?
It's 8 stories. So as you can see, this is the existing hotel,
Mhm.
and the proposed addition is the same height. So it's not showing any more stories than the existing hotel. So we're
Mhm.
permitted to do 8 stories, and we're proposing to do 8 stories. So there's 1, 2, 3. Can you see my cursor? Sorry.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories of guest rooms that are attached to the existing hotel. And then we've got this double height first floor space, which would be your 1 and your 2. So that would make
So there's 48 then?
there are 48 guest rooms, correct. And the existing hotel has 102. So that brings the total to 150.
Anyone else have any questions? Guess not. Are there more images, or have we seen everything? Oh,
Basically, this is the back that faces the tracks. So because it is above parking, there's not an opportunity to ground the building. So it is more or less floating above the parking, but do intend to have a brick-like material on the backside, very similar to the existing hotel, and then treat the top level guest rooms similarly to the street side, because it will be visible over the tracks. And then the north side of the building, we're basically taking the treatment that exists on the current hotel and moving that further up the street. So replicating kind of some of the brick recesses and moving the signage, the existing signage to the, if possible, to the banding at the top of the building. And that can be seen on Google Street View today if you can see this. So just taking this, moving it down.
Dana, I'm not sure who this question should be directed to, or if it should be David or Todd, who are not here, but Didn't we talk at last meeting about, is this the building that would be demolished? Is that on some registry? And if so, how would that affect?
Yeah, Todd said it was contributing to the Washington Street Historic District. So that's
It's on
something
some
we have
national register. It's on a national registry.
okay,
That's what Todd said.
right.
Right. So with that, does anyone know if that, if we vote on this and just hypothetically say we endorse it, does that matter? Like, is there legal things around that?
I don't think, I think this is for us an information gathering right now. I don't think we can vote on this right now without,
Well, for sure. I just mean, is this, are
Right.
there like legal stipulations around it?
there are, and again, a lot of us need to get up to speed on all those, and our
Okay.
Todd is our expert, is not here tonight. And we do need to, go through I'll check out all these federal regulations to deal with this.
Very good.
Was there
Yes.
material that was supposed to be sent to us?
I think I sent you not,
Michelle
anything-
just sent it. Michelle just sent it
Okay.
to us.
I just received something, but it just looks like it's a biography of Michael Devonshire. It doesn't have his report attached to this. It's just his bio.
okay,
No, there's an
Um,
attachment.
okay,
Yeah, I see the attachment.
Oh, okay. I clicked on the link. All right, I see. Okay.
Okay, well, we're not going to be able to,
right, vote on it, so we'll just need to see what's being talked about here.
Yeah, we haven't digested this information and gotten all of Todd's input.
we haven't even picked up the knife and fork.
Exactly.
All right, so let's, whatever else you have to show us. Again, I didn't see that in my email yet, so it didn't come to
It
me
just
yet.
came through in 719.
Okay, so I didn't look at that.
Just a clarification question, mostly out of courtesy to the folks presenting. Is there a timetable we should be cognizant of just in the next couple of months or?
Well, thank you very much for asking. The applications to create this edition are currently pending before the Planning and Zoning Commission. We have not been scheduled yet for a public hearing. My suspicion is that will be beginning of February would probably be the date that a public hearing would be scheduled. So if there is any opportunity that you at your next meeting with your all of your group, and if you've had the opportunity to review what we've submitted, it would be helpful for us to be able to convene before you again, answer your questions and see if you're in a position to move this forward. It's my understanding that even though a structure is listed on the National Register, that does not prevent demolition, but there is a process that needs to be undertaken, and this is part of that process. And the report from Mr. Devonshire speaks to some of the deficiencies in the building today, and those range from spalling on the limestone elements to problems with the brick, the mortar, the structural integrity of portions of the building, and also just a lack of specific architectural defining spirit or mood of the building. He described it, and these are his words, not mine, that it is decidedly unremarkable, yet just a structure that was constructed 1927 along with others on the corridor. And you are correct that it was added as a contributing building under certain criteria under the National Register of Historic Places designation. And that took place, I believe, in the mid-1980s. So this is your first exposure to the project, to our request to demolish, and it'll move through the process as is appropriate through the local demolition ordinance and whatever your process is. But we are looking likely to get to the zoning commission for the public hearing before that agency in late January or early February.
Okay, thank
I
you.
don't know if
I just
that
wanted,
answered your question as you were hoping. That's kind of the best I can do at this point.
yeah, no, that's what I was looking for. I just don't want us to put it off and then it's too late.
Oh, Todd Bryant just tuned in here. Maybe Todd can bring us up to speed on the Todd's perking up there.
Madam Chairman,
talking-
Madam Chairman, just if I may,
Yes. Mhm.
is Mr. Bryant a staff to your commission, or is Mr. Bryant?
He is, I would call him a trusted advisor. He's head of the Norwalk, his what?
Preservation Board.
NPT,
Preservation
Norwalk
Trust.
Preservation Trust.
Norwalk Preservation Trust, yes.
Just I wanted to understand what his role was. I thought he was
Yes.
joining as a private citizen.
Nope.
Okay.
So he is kind of both, but if Todd could tell us what is involved with touching 31 to 35 South Main Street, it's because it's on the National Register. Unmute if you have something to say. Oh, yes. Oops.
But yeah,
Oh,
okay,
there
I'm
we go.
unmuted now. Now
Yeah.
you can hear me. Yeah, it is part of the 1985 boundary extension of the Washington Street and South Main Historic District. And when I saw the zoning application for this, I immediately called Todd Levine at the State Historic Preservation Office, who deals with environmental review, and this kind of comes under that. And since that building is listed in the National Register as a contributing building to that historic district, it is protected by the Connecticut Environmental Protection Act, Section 22A, 19A, and which says that in essence, any building that is listed in or eligible for the National Register is protected from unreasonable destruction unless there is no prudent and feasible alternative. And the fact that this building is in pretty good shape, it is had until I don't know when, relatively recently, been a functioning commercial business. That's, I would say that's a prudent and feasible alternative. And so we had a conference call, Todd and I, and members of Bruce Beinfeld's staff, along with Bruce kind of lurking in the background, had a conference call about this, where Todd Levine explained the way SEPA works, and that assuming there's enough popular support for the preservation of this building, then he would bring it to the Connecticut Historic Preservation Council, who have the ability to request the assistance of the Attorney General. And in that case, the state of Connecticut would sue to preserve the building. And that is the same statute that we used at 93 East Avenue. It is, in any event, a long and expensive process and nobody wants to do it. But it is what it is. And this plan would demolish that building, and it would lose a building that's important. It's been built in 1927. It was always a small business of one kind, small retail business of one kind or another, except when it was part of the post office. And it's important to the commercial development of South Norwalk and the South Norwalk area and that historic district. So the State Historic Preservation Office is very concerned with the possible demolition of this building. I think what we all came to an agreement on in that phone call was that, or the Zoom call, was that it would be better to somehow work out a deal that would preserve at least, all or a substantial part of this building, rather than total demolition. Because if they go forward with a plan for total demolition, then we're going to have to start the SEPA process, and nobody wants to do that. So that's
There seems
pretty
to
much
be
what
a
I know.
difference of opinion. between what you just expressed about the condition of the building and what's being reported by the residents in architect, director, whatever.
Well, be that as it may, I haven't seen it. Have you guys, has anybody from the historical commission walked through the building? Bruce has offered to have me walk through the building, and I think a representative of the historical commission should do this, should be on that walkthrough so
Mhm.
that everybody can see it and I can photograph it. But whether it's in great shape or not, it's still listed in the National Register.
Right.
But Todd, talking hypothetically, because we're not taking the vote tonight, if we were to endorse tearing it down, then this whole process would begin. So our vote is sort of ceremonial, is that correct?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean,
Okay.
it's not considered, in a way, yes. Except that it would show support or not, the
Right.
support or not, or the lack thereof of the historical commission for preserving this important part of South Norwalk's history.
Okay, because the legal team is saying they're potentially going before the planning and zoning end of January, early February, so we should definitely address this at the next meeting, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Which is
Oh, yeah.
January
And
25th.
I think that, we should all work with Bruce to find a way to walk through it and figure out what's really going on over there.
Yeah.
So if you get a date from Bruce, let me know. If I can make it, I'll go with you. Along
Okay,
with
great,
the
thanks.
commission who wants
I
to
can
go.
also go.
Yeah, likewise. If I'm available, I certainly would be interested.
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah,
would,
and I mean, I think everybody agreed on that call, as I said, it better to figure out a way to make a deal than to even open up the can of worms that is Connecticut Environmental Protection Act.
I think it's also, obviously, the owners would like their reps to be present. And if at all possible, if we could get Mr. Devonshire to be in attendance as well, since he had some very specific comments about the condition of the building and some of the component parts that would seemingly be able to be restored or retained. He had some very pointed comments as to that as well. So if his presence could be accommodated, I think that would be beneficial for everyone, especially given the breadth of his experience in architectural preservation and conservation.
That makes a lot of sense.
Who is Mr. Devonshire?
He's an architectural conservator and preservationist with, the firm's name is, oh my goodness, it escapes me right now. I'm sorry, Jan Hurd Picorni Associates out of New York, and he prepared a report that was submitted today.
And
Okay, because I haven't seen that.
Todd, I just forwarded it to you because we just got it at 7:19 tonight. So I just forwarded it to you.
Okay, great, thank you.
And he
Yeah,
also-
I think it makes sense for as many
Yeah.
concerned people as possible to walk through the building. I mean, that's the only way we can really make really assess what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what I would think on the surface of it, but let's go deeper.
Right. So I think we've seen, we have an idea of what the plan is. So at this point, we won't be able to vote on anything without a full understanding of everything that's going on. So we'll read up before January 25th is our next meeting, or possibly have a special meeting. But
Well, it depends on when we can, it would depend, I think, on when we can get into the building and take a look.
right, that's also our, yes. So those are the other puzzle pieces that need to be fit together before we can decide.
Understood.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah. Okay, so,
Well, if then perhaps through staff, some dates could be circulated that we could then circulate them with Colin and Bruce Byfield and Alan Cosby,
Right.
and then see how we can get Mr. Devonshire present as well. If you could circulate those dates, perhaps we can help expedite it on our end. That would be okay to Colin and Bruce and Alan, correct? I think that would be
Yes.
acceptable.
So we should, sorry. I'm gonna just mute myself here for a second.
Okay, so that's what, we will do then, and Ms. Sachi's group is free to go now.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone, for your time tonight, especially during a
Yeah.
holiday week, and best wishes for a happy new year to everyone.
You
Oh, yeah,
as
you
well.
too, Liz.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I think that's it for our new business. And I think this is Eric and Mark's favorite part of the meeting.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
And who's Mr. Second? Could be Barry,
I see Lisa.
could be, is it Lisa?
That's
Lisa's
who's
very
showing up on my
high.
screen.
I
Okay.
second,
Lisa
Okay,
and Barry are tied
um,
for second. It's gonna be a cage match.
Okay, so all in
I
favor,
don't know how to get rid of this.
have a happy new year.
Same to everybody.
Well, see you
Thank
next
you
year.
all.
See you next year.
Happy New
See you
Year.
later, folks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.